This next tutorial we're going to focus on how to import PDFs. This is a relatively recent function with ActiveInspire, but it's a very important one because it allows you to use some of your existing material without necessarily having to reinvent the wheel. We have to remember that we have a lot of resources that we should be using, and the ActiveBoard doesn't necessarily require you to transform everything immediately. You want to start and gradually build. Here's an example of a PDF once it gets imported into ActiveInspire. What you'll notice is that there's a little bit of gray space on either side of the board. And the other thing is that you'll see is that you can move this around and make it bigger, smaller, and customize this. But this is the standard format for a PDF. So let's focus on how to do that right now. What you're going to do is you're going to go up to File, and you will scroll down to Import. And if you scroll over, you will see that PDF is one of the options. So I'm going to select that, and then a box will open that's a lot like if you were attaching something to an email, for example. Now I know I have some PDFs on my desktop. So what I'm going to do is navigate to my places to my desktop, and then I am going to pick this Rock Cycle comic that I created in Comic Life. And I am going to open that. It will say if I want to do all the pages or some of the pages. It will ask me if I want it at the beginning or the end, and so I am going to choose Import. And you can see that it will load them all in, and then you can look at the different templates that I imported. Now, one of the first things when you're working with these is that you'll realize is that they still can move around on you, and so I'm just going to correct that. We'll go up to a more standard example here. If students are going to be coming up and illustrating maybe how they move through the rock cycle, maybe somebody's going to move it, and then you can kind of clean it up by allowing yourself to lock this page down so somebody doesn't move it on you. So I'm just going to kind of review one of the tools here at your disposal, which is the Object Browser. If you click on the Object Browser over here, you will see that I just added the pen line here and the pen line here, both of those just highlighted here and here. And then the middle layer, which is technically a layer that you can move around, there is the image, otherwise known as the PDF. You can see that I'm holding it right here. If you go to this little menu right here beside it, there are lots of different options. You can cut, copy, paste, delete, duplicate. One of them is also locked, and you can lock that in place. Now you can see that even if I try to, I make this kid-proof. A kid can't come up to the board and have a negative experience because you locked it down, and then they will successfully be able to annotate this diagram. Now, if I want to unlock this PDF for some reason, what you can do is select the image again. Again, if we're looking at it right here, you would go to the Object Browser and click on the Object Browser. You can select this layer, and you can go down, and you can see that there is a little check mark right here that says that it is locked. If you uncheck that, you can actually move it around again. So that is some things that you might want to think about when you're working with different PDFs, is actually locking them down. And a few quick strategies for actually working with PDFs with the students and on your board in front of your class is to make sure that you annotate. I mean, even doing the most simple things, the deliberate use of color, highlighting different things over and over are things that will be a great advantage, I think, over what you've previously done. Don't forget that you can also use things like the screen shade and focus on the directions before you get to the lab. And one more strategy that I've probably done more than anything else is it's really simple, but basically creating a word bank. So if you select a text tool and you just start typing words, these could be various answers that you've chosen to have on the side of your page. And what students can do is quickly come up and put them into the various categories where they belong. And while students are working, sometimes what I do is I hand small groups pens, and when I see the correct answer, I have them go add it to the document as we're working on it. So if groups are struggling, they can look up occasionally and see that the master is slowly being created while the rest of the groups are working. So when you get done, this is already waiting for you as a review. The students have built it, you've gotten them engaged, and all you had was a PDF with a few text boxes. So those are some strategies to try in your classroom with PDFs.